Hey everyone, how are we? Wow, it's been a while since I did a vlog, so I thought it was probably time that I did a bit of an update. Um, there's quite a few things that have happened in the last year. So 1 week, where are we? 1 week today, will be exactly 1 year since I officially changed my name. Um, and what are we? Maybe three. Let's call it 56 weeks, give or take, since I started HRT. So just over a year since I started HRT as well. And it's all sort of coming around kind of full circle. I think this always happens, by the way, when it comes up. It's like when my birthday's coming up, everything sort of just starts to, oh, I'm getting older again. But I wanted to talk about a few things. Some practical, some, I don't want to say advice, but some sort of more like just my experiences. And others perhaps a little more emotional. Um, we'll start with, I suppose, the big one. If we start with, say, let's start with HRT. I did a post early on about the first few months about sort of my progress with HRT and the things I was noticing. I think that's kind of settled down a bit now. I haven't really noticed anything in terms of sort of big mood swings. My oh my god, physically though, my body hair is just so much better than it's ever been. By which I mean there's less of it, not that there's it's thicker or anything. There's less of it. Believe it or not, when it's not greasy, the hair on my head is actually a lot nicer than it's been for a long time as well. Obviously there's the the boobs. I'm wearing 38A at the moment, which is basically no boobs. But you know what? Boobs, right? And yeah, there's definitely some development there. You notice that I've been wearing bikinis and stuff like that, and they're not got anything like as much padding or support in them, and you can definitely tell there's like a tiny bit of boob. But I suppose more importantly than any of that is just how much more me I feel. It's a peculiar thing to say, and I don't know really if I can quantify it any more than that, which is not much help to anybody. But for quite a lot of my life, and particularly sort of the early days of my transition, so even before changing my name, it was this huge struggle to sort of wake up and sort of have to do certain things to feel like me, to feel like myself. Whether that was getting up and wearing the right clothes or getting up and doing my makeup or my hair or whatever it might be. And don't get me wrong, so I still try and do all of those things, contrary to current styles. Still try and do all of those things. But when I wake up in the morning now, I'm not somebody else, and I need to do those things. Need to do those things to be myself. I wake up and I'm just me, and I think that's probably a combination of the emotional aspects of having a chance to live for just over I suppose over a year, really, sort of technically over a year because of my deed poll now, as my true self, and be honest with the rest of the world about who I am for that long. That's been quite amazing. I think that's definitely a big part of it, but I'm not sure. I feel like that's maybe what the HRT is doing for me, because I tell you what, the days where I'm useless, by the way, just heads up. And the days that I don't remember to take my medication, they are the days where I am just like, oh no, what am I doing? What is going on in my life? Why am I such a mess of a human being? But I'm slowly but surely having less of those days because I'm being well behaved and remembering to take my meds. But yeah, I think that's probably the bigger part of it, rather than the physical changes, which, all right, I haven't really got an awful lot of shape, to be honest with you. And I don't think my face has changed an awful lot. I don't really want to do the whole before and after photo. Believe me, I've had a look. I don't think there's that much change. I suppose the other thing, yeah, definitely the emotional side of it, is my life is just sort of feels a bit more like my life now. Which is nice. It's good, and took a long time to get here, to be honest. It did take a long time to get here. What else did I want to talk about? I think now that I'm looking back at it, that this seemed impossible. It didn't. I don't want to say like it's some sort of impossible dream, but it did feel like this insurmountable task, this great big challenge that I couldn't ever face. You know, from the fear of even as easy as just like the fears of coming out. Oh my gosh, guys, the fear is real. You know, like what happens if everyone rejects me? What happens if everything goes wrong? And these are, you know, largely rational fears. What happens if? But the problem is with fear is what it does is it stops you from proceeding. And I think I've sort of got to this point in my life now where I've learned that most of the things that I've been really, really worried about have just sort of happened, and I've gone through them and they've been okay. Well, you know, some more difficult than others. I mean, coming out, yeah, all right, it was a bad few days, you know, but I'm still here. Unlike a lot of people, because I'm self-employed, I feel like I'm coming out all the time. I went to go and see a client today, and true story, it was about a year since I'd last seen them, and I completely forgot that I hadn't come out to them. I hadn't told them that I'd transitioned, and I turned up there, they're like, do I know you? Like, yes, you do. Really sorry, you were on the list and just got forgotten. Sorry about that. It happens. And, you know, I suppose, like, I've done it a lot. I was talking to a friend earlier, and one of the big things that I remember being really, really frightened about, really, really nervous about was swimming. I spoke about this in another blog, so I won't go on too much. But I remember thinking, I can't do it. It's impossible. I'm never going to be able to swim again. That's basically it. Until I get my surgery, I won't be able to swim. And even then, it'll be months because of my recovery. And so I did. I went swimming. I've done it quite a bit since, actually. It's exactly as fun as it used to be. You know, and it just wasn't as bad as I'd built it up to be in my head. I just wish there was a way, and if anybody knows how, please feel free to comment and tell me. I wish there was a way to sort of skip over that bit where it's just panic, panic, panic. Oh my God, this is a disaster. What am I going to do? Oh my, no, how am I going to cope? And just get to that bit where it's like, oh, actually, let's just go and do it, and we'll deal with it if it goes wrong. In fact, I think if I could learn to do that in my life, my whole life would be a lot easier. Probably help quite a few people learning to think a bit more like that as well. What else? I think over the last year, I've tried quite hard to get involved in charitable work. Some people would call it activism. I think activism's a bit strong for it, to be honest. It's more sort of support roles. I work with a support group via Facebook. I've been involved in a few other support organisations as well, and I'm involved in a big corporate support and diversity and inclusion project at the moment. And I think what's happened is that I've developed this profile for myself where I sort of feel like some people think that I'm just making it look too easy. Yeah, it's not. It's really hard. It is really hard. I have really struggled. I am still really, really struggling with a lot of things. I'm not just going to bleat on and moan and complain. But, you know, it wasn't so long ago that I was sat here just, you know, working out how on earth I was ever gonna make this happen. And I've been through, oh no, I might have to edit. Yeah, I mean, I've been through a lot. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say that I you know, I well and truly hit rock bottom. Nothing mattered. My life was basically over. And I think that now, because I do try and present like quite a happy, smiley, happy-go-lucky, life is all fine, big smiles, happy sunshine image. I think that because that's the image that comes across on social and on screen, that some people just think, oh yeah, it's alright, I just had it easy. No, I haven't. So, you know, no, I haven't. I'm not just breezing through this. I do appreciate all of you people that, you know, watch these videos, that are in the various social groups, all the people that I meet. I do appreciate that the struggle is real. Because, you know, it's my struggle too. I've been through this struggle as well. I'm going through this struggle as well. But compared to how it was, never mind 12 months, you go back even further, like 2 years ago, it was just impossible. A year ago, it was, you know, well, this is going to be hard. And now it's like, well, yeah, it's still hard, but I'm just getting on with it. It's a shame, because I think people sometimes expect these little pearls of wisdom, like little tidbits, how to get through life a bit easier. And the sad truth is that there aren't really any. It's just hard. Life, you know, it is just difficult. Being a trans person is not easy. But happy smiley Sammy, we're still here. And believe it or not, you know what? I am a lot happier. My life is it's astronomically different to where it was. Not all of those changes have been good, granted. But for the best part, when I wake up in the morning now, at least I'm me. That's worth a lot to me. Yeah, that's worth an awful lot. Guys, I'm going to try and do a few more Q&As. So if you're members of the Facebook group, brilliant. If not, then, you know, feel free just to ping us a note on the video or ping us a note on Twitter, and I'll try and work your questions into it. And we'll try and do a few more sort of question and answer sessions. Now, telling you straight, there are no easy answers necessarily. We can probably talk through some of the simple stuff, you know, like how do you change your name? I mean, it's easy enough stuff to go through. But I mean, being realistic, if you just want a bit of insight into one woman's experience of what transition has been like, then I'm happy to try and answer as much as I can. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for continuing to part with me, and I hope to speak to you all soon. All right, peace and love, guys.